Hi. I feel like my bowl is super big.
She's fixing her head wrap.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Belief Mel.
And we're here with episode 12 of
How Married Are You? Thank you guys so much. Those of you who have been supporting us on the Anchor platform, the Anchor app. Thank you. Thank you. I think we're making about $35 a month off of this podcast.
Thank you.
And that helps so much.
Yeah.
I would like to get some new mics. We already have one mic. This other mic Yvette is using is for like my recording stuff, but I really like to have just specific mics for the podcast so we can always stay set up. It'll be really easy for us to get this thing going when we do have to get it going. So thank you guys for supporting us on Anchor. And that's really easy to do. Just go to the Anchor app and send us a little voice memo. Just click on the How Married Are You podcast and then just send us a voice memo. And that's really easy to do. Big shout out to Tuambo, who sent this next message, which is very beautiful.
What's going on, How Married Are You family? This is Donald Gaston Jr., producer of the How Married Are You podcast, and you're listening to Words of Affirmation.
What we're going to do right here is go back.
Hey Glenn, hey Yvette, greetings all the way from Berlin. Just wanted to say, really enjoy your podcast. It's funny, it's informative. It gets me thinking, gets me and my husband thinking, why do we do certain things? It's helping us ask questions in our marriage when we really didn't want to ask them.
Freak y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat y'all, and you don't stop. A freak y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat y'all, and you don't stop. A freak.
When we really didn't want to ask them or didn't know how. And so, yes, you are doing the Lord's work with this podcast. Love you guys.
Aww.
The little baby at the end was so sweet. So we're reaching people in Berlin, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is insane.
Is that good? Have you ever thought that you were going to reach people so far away?
No.
Just your voice?
My voice.
Where's Berlin?
We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, we don't know where Berlin is. So shout out to whoever's watching in Berlin. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we enjoy these messages. They help affirm us, these words of affirmation. Thank you for sending them. Another thing I want to thank you guys for doing is leaving reviews on iTunes. Your words are it just helps, like if you can't support us, that's fine. Your words are so important to us, and even your views, like you're listening and you sharing it with a friend who may need it, or a coworker, or a spouse, or even someone, acquaintance you've just met. We thank you guys for listening and watching and supporting in any way you can. We're gonna hop into this chocolate baby story. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called? Story time with the chocolate babies, or
story time featuring the chocolate babies?
Okay, story time featuring the chocolate babies. The other day, I just want to hop in real quick.
Okay.
Before we get into this. This was, if you're on Instagram, you know what happened. But basically, I'm like upstairs, like walking down the stairs, and the door's closed in the bathroom, and Theo and Uriah are in there, and I just hear giggling. And I'm just like, like when you see a closed door and you hear something on the other side of the door, you just start imagining what else could be happening on the other side of the door. And my imagination was running rampant. I started to like I had like a closed hand, and then I just started to like straighten my hand, like to kind of like just go all the way in on these kids. Not that I wanted to spank them. I just was like, why are they closing the door when I asked them to brush their teeth? I opened the door, and both of them are just standing there, guilty as ever. And Uriah he has like just the right amount of water, like a stream of water coming out of the faucet to go directly into the toothpaste.
Really?
And is filling up the toothpaste with water. And
so he was very intentional about getting water in there. Oh my goodness.
And so
I didn't know that.
I looked at him and I said, but I just started going in on him like, yo, what is wrong with you? And the whole problem is it was my toothpaste. Like, it's my personal toothpaste that I use.
I have seen.
And I squeezed it, and all this water started coming out. And I just said, go away. He said, Dad, I didn't brush my teeth yet. And I said, well, what were you doing? Get out. Go upstairs.
Obviously.
You lost your opportunity to brush your
You're
teeth.
gonna have cavities because you're trying to fill up the
Get out. Ugh.
That's
Do you have a story, babe?
I was gonna just share my story. So what? Okay, so Friday we went up to LA and we pretty much spent the whole day there. So we got back home pretty late. So Saturday morning, I was really not feeling like waking up. And I knew I should have woke up, but I just wasn't feeling like waking up. So I think I may have gotten out of bed around 9 a.m. ish, which is really late for me. For some of you guys, that's a regular time, and I just don't understand how that happens. But anyway.
It happens just the way it happened with you.
But I feel like half the day is gone if I wake up at 9 o'clock. Like, anyway. So I woke up, went potty, and then I'm coming down the stairs, and on my wall is what I'd love. Like, if it were a masterpiece, like if it was like a Picasso or something like that, then I would be like really impressed, and, I'd honor him for his artwork. But one of my children had written all over my walls, just deliberate writing all over my walls, and left the pen with the top off right there. And that's a pet peeve of mine. The ink dries out. It's like, dude, just put the top back on, please.
Were you more upset about the pen being off the top, the top being off the pen, or the writing being on the wall?
The writing on the wall was what I was more upset about. And right away, I already knew who it was, but, I just had to double check. And so found out it was Raya. And he was really like not ashamed of it at all. It was kind of like, yeah, I did it. So what? And I was like, wow. Anyways. So I was like, okay. I went a little bit, whatever, crazy with my consequences. But one of the consequences was that Raya had to clean the ink off the wall. So
And what did I say? I said, babe, he's going to enjoy that. But go ahead.
You just killed my whole story.
Sorry, babe.
So anyway, I get him a bowl of water and soap and a sponge to clean off the wall. And he's doing it. And he's enjoying it. And he even goes as far as saying, oh, this is like what Sid the Science Kid did. And I'm like, I have failed at life today because he enjoyed the punishment.
Uriah has been taking a lot of L's lately. His name should be Low Raya. Just add an L in front of his name. You know what I mean? Because it's so consistent recently.
Yeah. But he's so like the frustrating part of it is he like does these really, and I'm sorry to say this, some people might judge me for saying this, but he literally does dumb stuff. Like, just why? I don't understand. But he's doing it, and he's looking at you with his big eyes and his cute cheeks and his warm smile, and I'm just like, ugh.
With no remorse.
I love you.
With no remorse.
You are so cute. And I know that all of this is going to be like, it's going to blossom into something beautiful.
Well, the thing is, like, it was a work of art. That was his work of art. It just wasn't your cup of tea. It wasn't your preference. But I'm sure that was actually, he may have had something in his brain going on there. But, there are parents who believe that kids should be able to write on the walls.
I know.
Wherever they go. Like, they should just be free. And I kind of understand that. But I don't. Like, I don't think it's right now. I think it needs guidelines. But some kids, and they become geniuses.
Yeah, I know.
But they
That's
also, are very socially awkward and weird. But I'm not trying to raise socially not awkward children. I'm not trying to raise kids who are perfect in social situations. I'm trying to raise kids who know how to do the right thing when it's time to do the right thing and be artistic and creative as well.
So sorry to interrupt, but this is a very important juncture, as you will see just how important your support on Patreon is. So we're going to give you guys a sneak peek of what the microphones would sound without having the right equipment to give you that nice, buttery, sweet, and enjoyable audio experience. Okay, check this out.
This whole episode is basically kind of like a Chocolate Baby story time.
I guess it is.
So because Uriah's been taking so many L's, let's go ahead and give the stage to Theo.
So, okay, we ran into someone. Did you just say that?
No, we ran into some other people we met. We know.
We
know of.
I was meeting them for the first time, but
Yeah.
Glenn had met them. We ran into them at the beach, and so Glenn and I went over to talk to them.
Well, they listen to the podcast, so let's just shout them out real quick.
We ran into Chrissy J. Powers and her husband, Sam. And Chrissy actually has a podcast called Yes Babe.
Yep.
So, anywho, we were chatting with them, and while we were away, so I actually left the conversation to just come back because I felt bad for leaving our kids with the other family that we were there with. I come back, and the husband tells me, or was it the wife? Someone told me that Theo had told them, which is kind of embarrassing. Theo had told them that he asked that we watch TV all day, which is partially true. That we were watching TV all day, and he asked us for food, and we didn't. We basically ignored him. And so he kept asking and we kept ignoring him. And so he went downstairs and made himself burgers and pizza. And so
yeah,
they told me this story and I'm like, okay, so we did watch a lot of TV today. However, when he asked me for food, I did go make him some food. And so I addressed Theo and I was like, hey, buddy, like, did you make up a play story? Like, was that something that you were, dreaming or, I was trying to give him an out for lying. And he went with it still. And I was like, what? Theo. And so basically I had to affirm them that I did feed my child. And I think they knew he was lying because of the fact he said he made himself pizza and burgers. Like, it was a little bit elaborate of a story, but it was still kind of like, man, what? Anywho, that's when Glenn comes in.
Yeah.
So a couple days later, or was it the next day?
Yeah. So the next day, Theo comes to me, and I reprimanded him. So after he told the people at the beach that we watched TV all day and he fed himself and made himself pizza and burgers, I said, man, since you like making up stories, you're not going to be able to watch TV for the rest of the day, and I don't want to hear anything else about it, And he was like really upset, and I followed through with that. And then the next day, he just kind of strolls into the garage and he's like, hey, Dad, can I talk to you? You know what I mean? And I'm kind of like, I'm in the middle of like trying to edit this Creators for Change video. Like I'm kind of like stressed out, and he can tell I'm stressed out. But I said, what's up, man? And then he was sitting there talking to me, and I had my back toward him. And then like when I heard him apologizing, I turned around and I was like, okay, he's making an effort to like kind of come clean. So I turned around and I started listening like fully to what he was saying. And he said, I'm sorry that I lied, but you don't pay. He was basically trying to say that I was missing something, and that's why he told a lie. Like, he gave a reason to why he was lying. And I'm kind of like, man, I don't really care what you have to say. Like, there's no good reason for you to tell a lie like that. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. But I just kind of let him talk because I felt like he was sitting me down. Like, he came in with this authority and was like, I have to talk to you. You know what I mean? Because this is not just my problem, it's yours. And in the video, he goes on to say that, in the discussion, he goes on to say that I am distracted by my work and I need to spend more time with my family because work is distracting me, and that I can only work when I'm going to make money. Otherwise, I can't work. And it was a very adult conversation for a 5-year-old to have. I was offended, but at the same time, like, intrigued. And I thought it was a good opportunity for me to kind of like self-reflect, because I think he was speaking a truth that he notices. And so he's noticed that when Yvette came home, I am not like the main caretaker anymore, and I'm not like rolling around on the floor and like fighting like as often as I used to. And so he's telling me that I need to keep doing that. And he says I'm distracted and I'm not spending enough time with my family. I totally understand that. But to him, like, he does not understand that I'm actually more around, you know what I'm saying, like, than other people are. And I know I shouldn't be comparing myself or my situation, my family, to anybody else, but I feel like that's the only way I can, like, that's the only way it makes sense. Like, he doesn't really know what his life is like. Like, he doesn't understand that this is rare.
Yep. So now do you see why it's important for you to support us on Patreon? Okay, that's enough. Back to the show.
Because I did record it. And actually, let's play some of that audio right now.
You go in the garage. You always work to get some money.
The way I take care of the family is by working. There's certain things that we're working toward.
You done?
I'm done.
Okay, I'm done.
All right.
Okay.
So, Yvette, what did you think?
Yeah, from the takeaway that I got from it is that he misses the dad that you were before when mommy was working, basically.
Yeah.
And that he desires to have the best of both worlds. Like, we're both here at the house, so why not both of us be, you know, downstairs? Or like, because he's even recently said something about his friends don't know who you are. Like the new friends that he's made.
You mean the people he doesn't know their names?
He does know their names better. But you know what I mean? Like the friends that he's making, like he's always meeting new people and you've never met them or they've never seen you or whatever. And so he finds that to be strange. I don't know. I thought it was very enlightening on how aware he is of what's happening, though. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, I know Theo's already a sharp kid, but I just feel like he's just so, he's so people smart. There's a book called The Five Smarts or something like that, that I need to finish reading. But, yeah, I think he's a people smart person.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, I understand, like, man, you want me to do all that same old stuff, but I'm trying to explain to him, like, yo, mommy, somebody has to work. Like, either you do or I do. Mommy or daddy. Like, you got to figure out, you know, who you want it to be. Do you want mommy to go back to work? And he's, like, really adamant about no. Like, he wants...
You've asked him that?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, he's very adamant about you staying home. You know, that's big for him. And I agree. You know, I want you to stay home, too. But like, this is how it is. And so I'm trying to explain to him in the video that, yo, I'm not working for these awards you see on the wall or like the money. Like, it's really so that we can be okay. And I've been feeling, I keep talking about this. This is my season of life. And until I change or get better. But I've been feeling like I'm never around. You're always busy. You're never around. You don't spend any time. I'm always feeling like I'm not doing as good as I should be. Now, I have an issue with that when it comes to my friends. Like, I take it personal. I'm like, yo, like if you work a job, that's different than like owning a business and like having to be everything, the editor, the shooter, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So don't compare like your days off to my days off. They just look different in this season. But I don't want to hear my son say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just bull crap. Like, I don't want my son to tell me like he did that I'm like he came to me like he was speaking on behalf of the family, which I applaud. And I'm very proud of him for like coming to me and holding me accountable like
and
that.
caring about the rest of us.
And it's so me though, because it's so much like, yo, we got to talk. You know, I'm very much like, yo, you have a problem that we need to talk about. And I don't even know how this conversation, I don't know if this is going to be a good conversation, but I'm just going to say what I have to say.
Yeah, and I just hope he keeps that. I appreciate the way you responded to him, I appreciate the fact that you stopped what you were doing and you turned to him and you let him know that your attention was fully his. Because I think as parents, it's important for us to know that, for them to know, for us to allow them to feel like they have a voice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because if you would have responded in a way that was like, whatever, he might not come back to you the next time he has an issue with something.
Yeah.
And so I just want him to always feel comfortable, kind of like what Ms. Rogers was saying the other day, like there's always a seat for you at the table to talk to me about whatever. And so, yeah, I appreciate the way you responded to him.
I also feel like we didn't grow up how he's growing up. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, if I would have had the gusto to come to my parent and say, I have this problem, then my parent would have said, just stay in the child's place. Mm-hmm. You ought to be seen and not heard. Speak when you're spoken to. I don't want to hear it. Like, you don't understand what I'm dealing with as a grown-up. Mm-hmm. And so why would you even say, how could you have the audacity? You know what I mean? Like, it's more of this kind of like, I'm up here, you're down here. Mm-hmm. But that's not always the case, because he's still human. Mm-hmm. He still has feelings. He's still an equal part of this family. He still, has the ability to voice his concerns and his opinion. And I, as a father, have the responsibility to listen to the people that I'm around. The reason why I feel like this is one of those things where I wanted to talk about is because it was a shifting moment in Theo's and I's relationship. It's a moment where I got to see how much he cares about me, and he got to address it. And so after the conversation was done, it was just kind of like, yo, thanks for talking. I was like, man, thanks for talking to me, man. And he was like, thanks for, what did he say? He said, like, thanks. He said, you're welcome. I just wanted to know about family and stuff and work and stuff. And then he walks off. And it was just like this. And
then he's like, I'm going to tell the family about the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I'm going to talk to everybody about what you said. And, I don't have a relationship with all of them.
It was very sweet. And it was pretty mature for a 5-year-old.
Very mature.
Yeah.
It was on some next level. And so, not both of my parents were like, even like nowadays, like, my mom would respond negatively for me to talking to her in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think parents believe that they are, like, when the scriptures talk about honoring your mother and your father, I feel like that was very honorable of Theo. Mm-hmm. But some people would say a question is not honoring. Mm. So when I tell Theo, like, yo, we about to leave, put your shoes on. Why? I said we about to leave. Just go put your shoes on, please. You know what I mean? That's how I usually respond. Just go put your shoes on. You know what I mean? Now, I don't get mad at him for asking the question. I get irritated because he's not listening to what I'm telling him to do. But he has a right to know where he's going. If someone tells him, come with me, I want him to ask the question, why? Where are we going? What's happening? You know what I mean? Like, I want him to respond to that. Mm-hmm. Children have a right to know where they're going. They have a right to know what they're doing, who's calling them and all that. Like, we have a responsibility to raise our children to be people who ask questions. I'm big on asking questions. I ask all the questions. Well, why are we doing that? Well, who said? Well, why do we have to, though? I remember the first time I visited your church before we were, when we were at the old church. Remember? Mm-hmm. And we were sitting there, and it was long. It was a long service. And I was sitting there, and I was like, man, I'm hungry. And I was like, I don't know what I said about food, but you were like, it's no eating in the sanctuary. And then you reached into your purse and pulled out some snack and snuck it in your mouth.
I did.
And I was like, what?
That's funny.
What is happening?
I don't know.
And you were like, there's no eating in here.
Oh, so yeah.
So you had
I
to
was
hide.
eating it, so I was hiding it.
Yeah. But I was like, why? Why can't you eat in here? And it's just rules, like rules. And I'm one to always question the rules. So I'm okay with my children for questioning me in that situation.
So you're okay with your children questioning the rules, but are you okay with your because Raya Bo, his questions.
Oh my gosh.
They just go on for days and days and days.
Yeah, because he'd be like, Dad, can I have some? Nah, buddy. Why? Because you can't have it. This is grown-up drink. Because it's gonna make me sick? No, buddy, it's not yours. Why? Like, he just keeps going on and on and on. And
I was talking more like, what question did he ask me the other day? He said, Mom, where does the moon live?
Oh my gosh.
Because it was like morning, and he was like, where did it go? I was like, oh my
Man, you trying to make it through your Thursday?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what's the point of your life. And he
then,
asks you a crazy question like that. It's like, what? In space.
And then he'll be like, what is space? Where does space live? Ugh, so much. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know, this is kind of breaking into a new topic. Some people have asked us to talk about what it's like to be married to a creative. But I feel like this is an indication of what it's like. Like, you know what I mean? Because if you were a banker, you go to work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We know that you're off Saturday and Sunday. But as a creative or an entrepreneur, your hours are not set, and your off time doesn't always align with ours. And so as your family, we're like, dude, we want to hang out with you. We want you to be a part of some of the things we're doing, but do you have time to do that?
Yeah. And that's weird too, because I feel like I'm more free as a creative, but at the same time, I'm building an infrastructure that's boxing me in and forcing me to be routine and productive. What?
I would say that your attention is sometimes split between everything that's on your to-do list and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, for me personally, I don't know where Theo's coming from, but for me personally, like, I don't mind if we just have a lackadaisical day where we're just wandering in the streets with no, like, purpose, but to be in each other's company. But I feel like sometimes you don't enjoy that as much because it's not like we're doing this.
The interesting thing is that, like, I guess I haven't been as present as I used to be. And that's very scary, because that's my whole shtick. That's like my thing.
Stick.
Shtick. It's shtick.
Shtick. It's a new word? Are
No,
you
it's
saying it
very
right?
old. Shut up. You shut your mouth. You apologize. Don't do this.
But how do you spell it?
I don't know how to spell it. I don't know how to spell shtick. I think it's a Jewish word. It's like your thing. You're like...
If I don't know how to spell a word, I always open up my phone and I voice memo it. Or I voice... what's it called? Shtick. What is it? Say it.
Shtick. Shut up.
It's spelling it stick, guys. STICK.
Don't do this.
I really need to know what this word is.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like, being present is my whole theme. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I am present. Am I not present? Yvette.
Shtick is a
Theme or
is a
gimmick.
comic theme or gimmick derived from the Yiddish word shtick, meaning peace.
I told you. I knew what I was talking about.
Sorry, I had to double
Keep
check.
going.
You don't
Babe,
want me to...
do you feel like I'm present as a father?
Yes, you're present.
Like I'm not like just here, but am I here when I'm here?
When you're here, you're here. You're very present. Like when you're there.
So this is my issue.
Huh.
When I do have work times and I'm obviously working,
We come in and
you
we
come
bother.
in and you bombard my imagination.
It's because we want to be...
You drop truth bombs when I'm in a creative space. When I'm in my brain and things are working and I'm skipping through a metaphoric dandelion grove.
He has his eyes
and I'm
closed
kicking-
and he's grooving right now, guys.
And I'm kicking up the dandelions and they are just like flying everywhere. And I'm snatching the dandelions and making colors and pictures out of the dandelions, right? Like, and I'm doing this amazing thing. You guys come in and say, Dad, can you wipe my butt? Babe, hold her for a moment. And then now he comes in, hi, how wow.
And Theo comes
How
in
wow.
saying, Dad, we need to talk.
Exactly. And so it's not that I feel like, always the same thing. If I could just get ahead, maybe be a little productive for a little bit, I'll give you your time. We'll have plenty of time. But when this person wants to go to Tennessee on a road trip, this
my
person wants to
gosh.
go jump in the trampoline, this cat wants to ride on my back, Anaya wants to sit on my lap without even giving me any sugars. Just sit right on my lap. I'm over it. And so that is why I lack presence in some of those moments. But no excuses. You are right. You guys are right. Theo's right. I have been falling short of my poetry, as I like to say. So, scripture that kind of came to mind. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12. Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech and conduct, in love, and in faith and in purity. Like, I feel like that is Theo in a nutshell. I mean, he did lie about some crap and start up like some drama, but he's fearless when it comes to that. Uriah's fearless in a totally different way. A physical jump off the couch head first at parkour when he jumps off the top wall. Like, without even thinking, he just leapt. He just leaped. I was like, what is happening?
Y'all, that wall. Okay, so Glenn.
Sidebar.
Yeah, sidebar. Glenn, Theo, and Uriah were all up on top of this wall.
We were at a parkour gym.
We were at a parkour gym. And I was looking at them like, why don't they just jump? Just jump. Just jump. I'm sitting over here on the other side of the wall, like at the bottom of the wall with Anaya. And I'm looking at these foam. It's like a foam pit at the bottom of the wall. And then what was that? A trampoline type thing?
It wasn't a trampoline. It's just a pad.
It's just a soft padded area for them to jump and land. So if you like fell on your butt, it wouldn't hurt, whatever. And so I'm watching them and I'm like, just jump. And eventually all three of them do jump. And then it's my turn.
But tell them how scared I was. Like,
yeah.
You were like talking about.
I was making fun of Glenn because Glenn literally like was sitting up there like a wimp. And I think
all the kids were jumping. All these little kids were just jumping.
And I think that our children were like really trying to encourage him and convince him like, Dad, you can do it. Like jump. And I'm looking at him like, Glenn, jump. Like, what's wrong with you? You punk, jump. And so, so it all happened. And I was like, you know what? Let me go up there and jump. Oh, Glenn asked me, are you going to go jump? And I was like, yeah. Y'all, I got to the top of that wall. That wall, it It's all about your perspective and your point of view, because I tell you what, being at the top of the wall and looking down, it was so far. It was so far. And Ryabel just jumped off that wall like it was nothing. He just jumped, y'all. He just jumped.
He had terrible posture. He jumped. His neck would look like it snapped back.
It was so bad. So I got up there and there was like, what?
Uriah is like, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you do it? Yeah.
But Uriah is also a leader. Like,
yes, he is a leader.
They're like, yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. You were on the wall.
So I was on the wall and I was like, I can do this, I can do this. And I tried to convince myself. But mind you, I didn't have my children up there encouraging me like they were encouraging their dad. I was lonely. So there was like this one like level to get to before you got to the bottom of the wall. And so I decided I need to get down. So I'm going to like, I didn't even jump. I just like
climbed down.
I hung
sheepishly. Just folded into the foam pit.
Yeah, I went down to the one level and then I fell into the foam pit. And even from that level,
it was scared. It was a lot.
This is not the business. And I will never say another thing about these children. Because I'll be sitting in boys' class sometimes waiting for them. And I'd be looking at the kids like, oh my gosh, just go. Like, do it. Just run. Just, you know. But you don't know until you're there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that was the rabbit trail.
Let's wrap it.
Are we done? Did we have closure?
Yeah, I just read the scripture. That's all I got.
All right.
Babe, how married are you?
Babe, I'm so married that I'm willing to apologize when I'm wrong.
That's just regular. That's regular human behavior. Whatever, cool.
Okay, I'll get something else. Babe, how married are you, though, in the meantime, while I think?
I'm so married that... What day was that? Friday? You made fun of me all day on Friday.
All day?
Most of the day.
But it was about one thing.
It was about one thing, but you made fun of me and then you exposed me to the internet and then they made fun of me. And Yvette's fans are ridiculous. Might I say that you guys have issues taking her side? She not even always right.
They didn't all take my side, babe.
Most of them did. Most of the women did. It's void. It's void. And so I pronounced the word void wrong.
VOID. He made it 2 syllables when it's a 1-syllable word.
I pronounced it void. Because that's how I always read it.
And I don't know why I was so tickled by it, but I was so tickled by it.
And she laughed all day long.
Y'all, though, I was listening to him talk about something, and I was like, what is that word? And I was using context clues, and I was like, I think he's saying void. And I said, babe, void? And he goes,
yeah. But anyway, she made fun of me all day, and I promised her I was going to get her back and retaliate.
But everybody was like, Yvette, he's always putting you on blast when you're watching your shows, which is very true. When I'm just sitting in my home,
babe, this is my How Married Are You? This is not your moment. Listen, Yvette made fun of me all day on Friday, and she got her fans to come at me, and I didn't retaliate. I just took the high road.
He didn't retaliate yet. We all know it's coming.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
Okay.
I'm not going to do anything.
I don't believe
I took the high road. I did not retaliate or get you back. I'm going to just keep being me, and you going to keep being you. But best believe there will come a moment where you fall short of glory. And I take it down. But it's not going to be because of this, though. It's just going to be because you're slipping.
Babe. And the thing about Glenn, y'all, is he will... The thing about Glenn is he will, like, you might pinch him and he'll cut your arm off. Like, no. Yes, babe, you don't know how to retaliate equally. Your retaliation is 10 times worse than what someone did. It's true.
That is true.
I know it's true. I'm telling you it's true. Anyway.
How married are you, babe?
I'm so married that I'm willing to play Russian roulette with my with
What is happening?
I don't even know. I was going to bring up what's happening after this, but I didn't.
Oh my gosh, no.
I can't do that. Let me think. I'm so married that this is actually hard. I don't know if we can do this every episode.
You better figure out some stuff to be good at.
Well, I'm so married that I sent Glenn a very explicit grocery list today. I didn't say anything about the fact that he didn't do it right.
What? You just brought it up. And mind you, oh gosh, you're not.
I'll tell him myself. I sent him to the grocery store once, and then I forgot I needed a couple of other things. So he came all the way home, and I had to go all the way back to the grocery store. Okay, that's it. But babe, I said, can you get me 3 red bell peppers? 2, I told you how many of each color.
You said 2 yellow, 1 orange. They didn't have any orange. I got you 2 yellow, 1 red.
But I said 3 reds. Read the text message. He bought me back a total of 3 bell peppers, and I needed, I said, look.
I thought that was a typo.
No, I said 3 red bell peppers, 2 yellow, and 1 orange.
You didn't say you did say 1 orange.
He brought me back 1 red bell pepper and 2 yellow, or was it orange? 2. I was like, what?
See what happened next time I go to the grocery store.
But this is the 15th time. I guess this is not how married I am, because
You are terrible.
I'm horrible, guys. And that's just how married we are. I don't know. I'm horrible at this. Uh-oh. Somebody's waking up. We're waking somebody up.
Whatever. I'm mad.
Are you really?
No, but come on now.
Okay. So, are we going to say it? And that's just how married we are. Let's do it again. Because I wasn't looking at the camera. I was looking at the thing. And that's just how married we are. I don't have my ring on. You never do.